Good evening, Danielle.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, indeed. Happy to be here. Um, all right. Hope everyone is feeling happy. Everyone took on board what we said last week, and hope you guys are ready for what we got to say today. Um, so this is gonna sound really nice. We thought that we should speak on thoughts today, right? So we wanna give you the hint that you should try and analyze that we have many thoughts throughout the day, throughout just an hour, throughout just the conversations we have with other people. Like right now, I can tell that a lot of you are listening and you're thinking at the same time. And all of us were like, yeah, I know, we all know that we have thoughts. The thing is, we can also take control of those thoughts. So basically, what I'm trying to say is we have to first sit down and pay attention to what our thoughts are. Pay attention to what our habit of thought is. Like where the thought is going, which thoughts are more persisting, which thoughts governing us throughout the day, right? So how do we do that? I mean, the easiest way is through meditation. That's the easiest way. But you can also there's different types of meditation. If you don't know how to meditate, maybe you should look into it. We're not gonna guide you in towards meditation. But just the easiest way to meditate is sit down on a chair, back straight, or whatever your back wants to do in the beginning, and close your eyes, relax, you know, and then what you want to do is after you in control of your physical movements and your physical doesn't make you doesn't govern you basically, then you can start looking at your thoughts, right? But that's not just the only way you can do it. Like even now, I'm speaking to you guys, and then I'm thinking of what I'm thinking, basically. Like I'm just paying attention that I'm not thinking negative or you know. In the beginning, once you start analyzing that your thoughts, you will see that most of us, our thoughts are like a basic constant fight. you know Half of us wants to do something positive, half of us fights the positivity through different ways and means. We're like, but why you should help that person or this person, because this person, and then the mind will come with arguments why you shouldn't or you should. So 9 out of 10 negative thoughts will probably win. So that's why we chose to speak on thoughts today. Yeah, just a quick one. You are the captain of your soul. Yeah, you are the captain of your ship. So therefore, you are the captain of your thoughts, right? In the beginning, when you start seeing that you have so many thoughts in your mind, you'll be like, "Oh, but I don't control this." But I say, but you do. You do control him, right? You are the person that encourages them, right? and then thoughts always come together. Like if let's say you're late to work, you planted that seed there, right? You planted the seed of thought that you're gonna be late to work. So stop doing that to yourself, right? I know this is a little bit advanced what I just said now, but just try and think positive things, right? Your thoughts are like seed. The more you think of something abounded or positive, the more that side will come to you, right? Because everything comes like a chain, you know. Like if anything, they us humans, we have all these sayings in the world, but we never ask ourselves how did the saying come to be saying, you know, like oh they always come in free. What rubbish you guys are talking about? Why do they come in free? Because we feed them, obviously. That's why we feed them, and we feed the same chain over and over again, right? But how do we not feed the same chain over and over and over again? Well, basically, we have to, instead of saying, oh, I'm not thinking of this anymore, right? Even thinking it that you're not thinking of it anymore. See, I'll say it again. Thinking of it that you're thinking that you're not thinking of it anymore, right? That's still thinking of it, right? So that's still feeding the thoughts. So basically, I give you this analogy. It's not mine, but it's easy to use. Let's say you have two plants, right? You have one plant which you'll call it positive, and we have the other plant which you call it negative, right? So if you start watering, water is your mind's energy, right? Let's just put it like that. If you start watering any of them plants, then the other ones will gain the health and the life, right? So everything is alive because our mind feeds them. The energy that we within feeds them. See, the energy is not respectful of what feeds, you know. It just listens to our mind, you know. Our mind is just there to obey us, right? But we're not to take advantage of it, you know. We just have to use it the right way. We have to be responsible of the way we use it, right? So back to the plants. If you start watering the negative side by thinking of it all the time, or by saying that you're not thinking of it but you're actually thinking of it, you know, like right, from today I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but you're actually talking about it like in that moment, you know. I don't even want to listen about it or this or that. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to actually change the internal speech, you know. You have to change the internal speech, the internal self-talk, you know. Instead of saying blah 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 blah, say, you know what, I am beautiful, I am good looking, I am healthy, I am happy, you know. You don't have to repeat it and mumble it like you're a robot. Actually believe it, you know. And then keep, every time when the thoughts that you um, not appreciate come to your life. See, I use not appreciate. I didn't say you don't like, because you like or dislike the thoughts. They'll still be there. So you have to shift your energy towards the good plant, right? That's what it means. Because if you dislike something, you're still feeding it with energy, right? So what's really happening is, like I said, the energy is not respectful of things that you like. If you like something or you dislike something, you still feed it with energy. So that thought will still be big and healthy, right? So you have to shift your entire mental attitude towards positivity or whatever you want to shift it towards. Okay, that's one of the steps that you have to do. You also have to suggest and imply to yourself um, things that you want to achieve. You know, you might have to spend a little bit of time of through the day. In the morning and in the evening might be the best time, straight when you wake up and just before you go to sleep. And just talk to self. You know, like say, "Oh, I am brilliant," or "I am magnificent," or whatever you want to be, whatever you want to choose to be, and then the pattern of thought will change. Um, okay, guys, let's see if we get any questions so far. Because I know for me it's easy to go on this and then forget a lot of the aspects, or forget of struggles that you guys might get to get there. Okay, so let's see if you have any questions.
One question I would like to ask is, one of the questions I have is, how how does it work for when we're thinking negative things, but everything around us is absolutely beautiful?
Well, for first of all, if you are thinking negative things and everything around you is beautiful, that's amazing, right? The thing is with thinking it and believing it, that gives it life, right? Thinking it and impregnating it with life is different, right? So if you think it and believe it or feel it, that is like that. So if you think it, that you think that you are positive, and you also believe it that you are positive, and you feel it that you are positive, right? Remember, all these feelings are inside of us. So whatever we feel or believe, it comes into us. So if you just think negative, what you think today is the result of tomorrow's day, right? So today might be all shiny because in the past you was happy, right? But in the future the shyness might go, because everything that happens today we see it expressed into tomorrow. Okay, does that make sense to you, Daniel?
Well, perfect sense. Yes. Um, I will elaborate on my question a little bit further. So, is it that our thoughts make our surroundings negative or positive?
Yeah. Okay, but basically you just said it. Is it that our thoughts, and you gave yourself the answer, is it that our thoughts surround ourselves? Well, it's a self-expression, right? Like if if you say something to someone, right, and then you upset him, you can see it on his facial expression straight away. That means he's feeling something. He took the thought, right? He analyzed the thought, and then he felt something, and then he expressed it on the outside. Or let's say you go to the shop right now and you want to buy something, okay? And they say, "Oh, but we don't have this anymore." And you say, "But you advertise that you do have it, right?" Anyway, so on and so forth. One of you gets angry, and then if you have a mirror or if you see the other person, he will express that anger, or you will express the compassion, or it depends on how a person reacts to what you're saying. Because you could say, "Oh, you know what, ta da 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 da, you're not advertising, this is false advertising, ta da 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 da," and the situation might escalate, or it might be right. So the person might express in a certain way. But hold on, what do you mean by express? So first of all, what happened? It was the thought, right? In the beginning, it was the word, right? Then you took the word, you internalized it into your brain, some thoughts occur from it, then certain feelings happen and emotions, right, to trigger. It depends on what base or level you believe that thought. Like I could say, "Oh, you know what, F you, man." And then if we are joking, you internalize it and we both laugh. But if we are arguing, you internalizing and you will erupt in anger.
Right.
Basically what I'm saying is all of this is just an expression of what you put in, and everything that you put in is an expression of what you get out, right? So let's take this a little bit further. right? Everything that we think and we believe and feel that is true, it will happen in our lives. It will definitely happen for us, right? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's just bound to happen because that's the law of attraction. That's the law of impregnating stuff. You know, that's just the law of the universe. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So that's that's
So, yeah, so when we talk about this, our thoughts actually create our reality? Like, we could just think something, negative or positive, and it becomes our tomorrow, our here and now, our future. Is this where I'm going? Is that correct?
so basically we have here a little bit of no, I wouldn't say dilemma because you would say, oh, but I think that I am rich and it never happens, right? So we create when we feel, when we so when we feel, when we think of a thing and we believe it to be so, and we feel it to be so, we create it and it happens in our lives, right? So, because you would say, yeah, but I think all the time that I'm rich, right? But hey, look, be truthful to yourself. If you think, right, but you have to believe it and you have to will it, you have to accept it. Not I am rich, because the way it sounds is I am rich has to be now, no, not will it in the future. So it has to be like I am rich right now, and you have to really believe it. There's thousands of thoughts that go through our mind. We don't really impregnate all of them, right? And most of the times we impregnate them because the feeling we attach to them, the feeling, the feeling, the real feelings, like it could be either positive or negative feeling. It doesn't matter. So, but if it's a strong feeling, if you really believe it, right? If you really believe that aliens exist, they might exist somewhere, right? Because we have the creativity, we have the creative power, right? Remember, it says, in the beginning it was the Word, right? And then everything happened after the Word. So basically, we are all sorcerers and wizards, but just we forgot a little bit about it. Okay.
Wow. Amazing. So, there's so much to talk about when it comes to thinking, because it's almost like it's a neglected ability, and we think we know what we're doing, and we think that we are in control. But how much are we in control of our thoughts?
All right. Well, basically, I am not here to tell you guys that your thinking is wrong, or there's a certain way of thinking. All I can tell you is that I had to go through patterns in my life to get to where I am right now, and I can only tell you what happens in my life, in my mind. We're not lecturing about anybody else's mind. Even when you go to the doctors and he tells you stuff, first he asks you a lot of questions before he diagnoses you, because he diagnoses you according to what you tell him, right? He doesn't know what you have, right? So even when you tell him stuff, right, he asks the same question in different ways so many times to actually make up his mind, but he don't know what you got, and you don't know what you got either, right? So there you go. You're just two confused people there, right? And if you don't believe me, take that diagnose, go to another doctor, and then you'll see, right? Or go to another doctor, right? And then you will see a different diagnose, because at the end of the day, what we can tell is, but I can tell you something about you if you talk to me, right? If you talk to me, and if I make myself an idea of what type of person you are. I can tell in what world you're living, but all only after I speak to you. Just because I'm seeing you on the streets and you're wearing certain clothes, that doesn't qualify me to say anything about you. So I have to actually have a conversation with you to tell you in which world you're living. And I'm not referring in this material world because you could be a rich man or a poor man. I'm talking about the mental world, right? Then I can tell you where you are, right? I could tell you where you might have to adjust, not change, because I'm not entitled to tell you what to change. I'm just here to say, look, guys, if you think good things happen to you, happy-go-lucky, right? And if you think back things, bad things are gonna happen to you because it's bound to happen. That's what it is. Did I miss the question?
No, it makes perfect sense, and it's sort of it makes perfect sense, and it's kind of linking, in my own personal experience, a lot of what's happened in my life. It might not be an easy thing to admit that I created those things myself through thought. Um, so how does it happen when something, say, less inviting, less positive happens in your life, and you're persistent and you're like, I did not create this. I did not ask for this to happen to me. Where does that thought power come in?
Well, first of all of us were in denial. All of us were in denial. If you want examples, like every time you meet an old friend and you talk about your past, the same story, both of you tell it different. And of course, you would tell it different with you two different people. But what I'm saying, the memory is different. Because the person might tell you, oh, this and this happened. And you're like, I don't remember any of that shit happening. It's like almost I wasn't there. And then if you tell the story, he might go, but that didn't happen like that. So we are forgetful creatures, right? We came here to forget. We came here to fulfill what we is meant to fulfill. I'm not going to go into that today. But we forget. Like, try and remember where you fought this morning. Can you do that? Nonetheless, where you fought yesterday.
Or 10 minutes ago?
Or 10 minutes ago, on when we started the lecture. We started the lecture, you guys on the other line, you're like, let's just give it a chance. You don't know, well, you might get something good or you might get something bad. If it's bad, I'll just switch it off and that's it. Oh, well, right? None of us are like, you know what? Let me look into this like this. But let me start analyzing a little bit of what I think, because at the end of the day, don't be a good person to show it on the media. That's not a good person. You're not a good person if you're giving someone food and then you put it on whatever platforms out there. You're not a good person. Stop lying to yourself, right? Stop lying to yourself. Just stop, right? I'll say it again, stop. If you're a good person, first of all, you appreciate and love yourself, right? You look at yourself and say, look, how at the end of the day, how could I have done today better? What could I have changed to change myself? How could I grow, right? A wise person said, you can't change the world. The only thing you can do is change yourself. So change self, right? Don't try and change the world. That thought haunted me for years. I was trying to change the world. I was the greatest. I wasn't. I was just learning, I was just learning. And learning is being great, is being great. I'm not saying that your thought pattern is wrong. Everything that happens to you, if you have to go through a downside to your life, I wouldn't call it depression, but a downside to your life, it has to happen. Because without a little bit of struggle and a little bit of pressure to your vibration, nothing will get done, right? No bricks come to life without someone thinking of them, right? So even before you could wear a jumper or a suit, someone had to think about them, right? And then before that, we had to endure cold or whatever we had to endure. So what I'm saying is, analyze what you're thinking. If you want to become a better person, you can change the way you think, right? It's nobody outside of you that can tell you that you need this pill or that pill, right? Nobody outside of you. Even when you tell someone that is qualified, look, this is what I think I have, right? They would say this, or yeah, you need this or you need that. But don't need that. You don't need it. Ask Dr. Google if you need anything, right? I'll say it again, maybe you missed that. Ask Dr. Google if you need anything. Dr. Google is there to just say, if you got this and you got that, you got this disease, right? And you, with your belief system, you're ready and quick to believe that you really have that. Okay? So all I'm saying is, check what you're thinking. Check what you're thinking. Stop pointing fingers. Is nobody else outside of you guilty for something? If anything happens outside of you because of something, right? It is because of you, because you fought it, right? If you go to work and you on the way to work, you argue in your mind that you're gonna argue with a colleague or your boss, it will happen. And many of you can tell me that I am right, because you can't deny it, right? But instead of thinking that, try and think, oh, you know what? This person didn't mean it. He might have a bad day, or you might just think, you know what? I'm just gonna have a good day. If you want to take it to the next level, I'm gonna meet my boss and I'm gonna ask him, "Hey, boss, what do you think? How can I improve? You know, is there anything that I can do better?" Ra, 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 ra. At the end of the day, you're only doing it for yourself. You can't complain about the amount of money you're getting paid if the only thing you're doing, you're running away from your work and you're hiding or complaining all the time. You're a cleaner, clean, right? If people are late, it doesn't matter. You're still getting paid. So clean. You don't have to argue with them, right? You just tell them, please, do you mind? Go, right? Okay. That's it. If they don't go once, they don't go twice, you speak to your boss. Look, boss, they always late. I think maybe I should get paid for that hour, right? So instead of arguing, and so on and so on. Anyways.
Wow, so it's a lot to it's a lot to think about there. So isn't it interesting that we've discussed this, and you mentioned a bit about my understanding, being able to control what you're thinking. And is it possible for anybody to be able to take control of their thoughts?
Absolutely, absolutely everyone, right? We are all equal in this world. Absolutely all of them. It doesn't matter where you come from, okay? Listen to this. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what skin color you're wearing. Just don't believe that. Don't put yourself down. God came here and he just chose different suits, right? Keep that in mind. He just chose different suits. And he could say to me, oh, but God is outside of us. No, it's not. Well, I'm going to say, I said it before, I'll say it again. God is within us. God is omnipresent and omnipotent, which means outside and within us, right? There is no little Jesus that was put on the cross for our sins. We're not going to get into that in too much details. We're talking about thoughts tonight. But all I'm saying, appreciate who you are. You are the way you are, right? I'm not saying the way you look. You are the way you are because of the way you think, because of the pattern, right? So you have like a lifestyle that needs to change. You can't go to the gym and expect to lose weight when all you're thinking of that you're not worth it, that you're not good enough, and so on and so on, right? I'm not the one to give you examples of bad things to feed your mind into negativity. All I'm saying is change that pattern. Look at yourself like you're beautiful. You are a grace. You are amazing. That's when you start changing, because if you appreciate yourself, right? You can't expect anyone else to appreciate you before you start appreciating yourself, before you start looking highly of yourself, right? So do that first. Again, we're going back to thoughts, right? So I'm getting a little bit more passionate now because it is the truth, you know? And if you don't believe me, try it, right? You don't have to believe me to try it. Try it. Try it. And then after you try it, right, you can prove me wrong. Okay? But be like a watcher at the gate. I think it says something similar in the Bible, but we're not bringing the Bible here. Be like a watcher at the gate, you know? And then you like a guardian. See what thoughts go through. You know? See what thoughts go through, and then you'll start seeing, and you'll start, if you want, you can take notes as well. It's not a bad idea to take notes, and you see what patterns you're using. Don't say, this morning I woke up, I went to the market. Say, this morning I woke up and I was thinking these things. Or, or in times of trouble, I am thinking of telling this person off. Right? Write it down. Right? Leave it there for a little bit. Read it later. If you're still feeling the same, put it back in the drawer and open it in a week time. Right? I know this secret from this book is called Think and Grow Rich, right? By Napoleon Hill. That was one of the first books that I really appreciate, but I wanted more. I wanted more in life, and then I'm growing every day, and then I think all of us should grow every day. All of us should grow every day, and nothing will come to our lives without us allowing it. If we start taking control over our lives. I know I speak a little bit with passion. I know it's hard to follow these types of comments because it's the physical world got to us, the feelings got to us, the outside senses got to us, not the feelings, the outside senses got to us, and now we're like unsure what really goes on, and we're not sure who really tells the truth. We're not sure who to follow or who we should be like. I tell you who you should follow, who you should be like. Nobody. Be like yourself. Stand up for yourself as a person. Don't stand up for yourself as a bully. Stand up for yourself as a person that loves herself, himself, right? Stand up like that, and you will make a lot more difference in this world. Instead of going after this party in the government, did they do no good? This do no good. For all the years, for millions of years, no government done what they promised. None, right? And if you didn't hear what I said, none of them did what they promised. And I'm not here to raise an army against the government. The only army I want to raise is be watchful at the gate of your thoughts, right? It's a self army, right? Improve yourself. Don't worry about what's going on in the world. That's what's happening right now. All of us, we worry about what's going on in the world instead of looking what really goes on. We are wasting our lives by worrying about this people's problem, that person's problem. We forgot who we are. We forgot our ancestors. We forgot all of this. We ignoring it. Oh, they didn't know. Oh, they didn't know. And then when it hits us, and we're like, oh, wow, but they actually did know, right? And they know, and they knew a lot. And then when they wanted to talk to us, we're like, nah, I want to watch television, right? So it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. You want good things to happen in your life? Start changing inside. How do you change inside? Well, have a sit down and see what really goes on in your mind. What's going on in your brain? Oh, I need to buy rice. I need to buy this. I need to buy that. You know, see, just have a look. When you're thinking about the world, when you're thinking about your external self, what do you see? How do you perceive yourself? What do you say? When you look in the mirror and you see yourself, what do you say? Oh, I'm getting this, or I'm getting that. I'm getting older. I'm getting younger. I'm looking amazing. Cause it does matter. If you think it doesn't matter, okay. Well, tell me this: when you buy a new pair of shoes, yeah, and you wear them, why do you wear them like it's the best time of your life, huh? When you get a new haircut, and you think everyone knows that you got a new haircut, your confidence is booming. Why is it booming? Because you believe. You believe, oh, I look good, right? So you can tell me that I'm wrong, but the thing is, you can try and tell me, but your soul won't let you tell me because you know I'm right, right? Any questions? You guys have any questions? Throw them at us.
Yeah, it would be great to get some. It would be great to get some questions on what you've been thinking today, what you think of the podcast. What is the most dominant thought for you daily? It could be negative, positive. We're not here to bring bad news. We're here to bring good news. And my question, Mihai, is: does external systems, and I'm talking about media, family, peers, anything outside of us, does those external systems have an impact on how or what we think about?
Of course it does. Is well, the external media doesn't really have a lot of effect. Is more like what we choose to believe about it, and also it becomes a drug, hitting the same thing again and again and again. It's just like a drugs of today. The best drugs invented in this world is television and radio, right? And you can tell me otherwise, but if you hear a song in the beginning, the first time you hear it, you're like, it's not that good anyway. After a month of that song being out, you're like singing it, and you cut yourself singing. It's like, oh my god, I thought it's not even that good. It's so catchy. It's not catchy. Listen, you've been repeating it to yourself on and on and on, and your brain just gave up, right? One of the craziest people in this world said nothing is true, nothing is real in this world, right? There is no true, there is no lie. All that makes it true is just repeating a thing often enough for the human to believe it, right? That's it, right? So again, it's self belief, self thought. So you have to be careful what you feed yourself. A lifestyle, a diet, we misunderstand now these days. Everything diet, lifestyle, it's all about the food. That's how we interpret this thing. It's nothing about the food. All I'm seeing, I will look around. I see a lot of people depressed, sad, this, that. I say, why are you sad? First thing in the morning. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm tired. How can you be tired? You just woke up. Say that you're sleepy, I would understand. But why are you tired first thing in the morning? Right? You can't be tired. Give yourself a good wash. Go have a cold bath. Wake up. Be productive. Enjoy your life. Be happy that you live. You can't tell me that you're tired. You just woke up 5 minutes ago. You're sleepy. You're grumpy. Yeah, I understand that. Okay? You're grumpy. Some of us are. But hey, we have to be grumpy, some of us, right?
It's almost like we look for the excuse of tiredness to cover up that we're just grumps.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I use that thing because most of us use it, and the reason that I use it is this: we started from the fact that you said, do what comes from outside us influence us, right? Let's not just talk about media, because they're not the only bad wolves, right? Let's talk about everything that comes outside of us. Everything that comes outside of us hurts us, and I'll tell you how it hurts us, right? Because once we start choosing to change ourselves, inner self, before we didn't pay attention, but after we start paying attention, after we start being watchful at the gate, it's like this. Whatever we can control the media, we can shut the television off. We can choose not to buy the paper. We can choose not to listen to the radio. It's easy, right? But what do we do about people that we meet? First, we meet people outside of ourselves, right? And we go to work. These people know all the news. You go to the train station. These people know all the news as well. You meet your friends. They know all the news as well. And if you missed out, hey, guess what? You're just about to be informed about the misinformation of the world, right? So the thing is, we choose to believe people that are dear to us because we have emotions for these people. Huh? We have trust and love for them. That's why we choose to believe them, and we internalize it. And if we internalize it with enough feeling, we give it birth in our lives, right? So that's what really happens. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. Your friend could read the paper to you, or you can read the paper to yourself. You might just have a day when you're feeling a little bit low, and then you're in theta, and then you're really susceptible to whatever comes from the outside, right? Questions?
No, I think that's really it. It's almost like It's almost like we're producers and directors of our very own little movie.
Yeah, well, the platform alive is a drama, right? It's a drama. You have the power to control it, right? Look at little kids, right? They don't care. They don't care. They do not care. They're like, sit down. Huh? Okay. Not today, mate. Right? I'm not saying that it's to be a rebel or disobedient. Even though you can be a good rebel, you can be disobedient towards things that are not really beneficial to you, like, you know. So all I'm saying is, once you start listening to what happens to you inside of yourself, you might be able to start changing yourself. And if you need more help with this, there's plenty of ways you can reach there. You can send us a text, you can send us an email, okay? We'll try and help you as much as we can. But hey, look guys, I do not read minds. And if I do, I'm not going to tell you guys, right? I have to keep some secrets for myself. Not because I want to manipulate you. I don't believe in things like this. All I want to do is show you there's a different way. I'm not saying that you should follow what I'm saying. Listen, if you like anything, try it, put it on. If you don't like anything, it's okay. Thank you for listening to us. Thanks for giving your time to listen to us, and I hope you really learned something. Okay? And I wish you guys a good evening, and I will see you next time. Okay? All the best. Stay happy, and be careful what you feed yourself with.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for checking out the We All Fit podcast tonight. Our subject was thoughts. It was lovely to be with you all. It was lovely to encourage you all. And it was lovely to embrace you all. I wish you all the best for the evening. And we will see you next Thursday. Here's a nice song for you. And it's RDX, Not a Real Place. Have a nice night.
RDX. This is not a real static. This is not a real This is not a real weightless, female, out and shop with the speedways. Shell of them fresh from the weed days, eyes them red like strawberry cheesecake. That's white foam and green tea. Give me 10 jump and 3 wheel. And if I can drink from raw, like we just make out a steel plate. Go over here, mad people. Go over there, mad people. Place black and still add people. That's how the real hashtag people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step on the floor, don't stay courtside. Y'all get hot and I dive off of the boat ride. This is not a real place. This is not a real place. This is not a real place.
Sweating our face, putting our waist. Make a naughty, this is not a real place. Y'all are wind up on brace, man, now your dance face.
This is not a real place.
Sweating our face, putting our waist. Make a naughty, this is not a real place. Y'all are wind up on brace, man, now your dance face.
This is not a real place. Getting wet in a different energy can't contain. Moving right and moving left, we going hard all day. Tell this down, no way on the field. Kill this light, spend off your feet. Man get gone, we nah no break. Spanish tell them I say ole ole. Jump round, hot girl make come see bounce round. This lit, song hit. Happiness when we gather downtown. Trinidad up, Asian up, Vincent up, Jamaica up. Relting boy, I can't tell you where in my this is not a real This is not a real This is not a real
Sweating our face, putting our waist. Make a naughty, this is not a real place. Y'all are wind up on brace, man, now your dance face.
This is not a real
Sweating our face, putting our waist. Make a naughty, this is not a real place. Y'all are wind up on brace, man, now your dance
tonight.